I'd seen New Orleans when we shot Glory at Sea, but I'd never been further south. So when I first drove down to the bayou and started to see that the things that were inspiring and sort of informing both the story and the design of the movie were real and physical, the heat and the humidity and the bugs and the bayou being just right there on your doorstep, I wanted to find a way to make sure that the camera just got all of that stuff and just sort of really soaked it all up. And it was very similar with Clavengenet as well. It was the same thing. When I met her, there was just this energy from her, and I just really realized that, like, my responsibility ultimately was not to try and impose something on this, but just to be receptive to what was, being put out by her and by the environment.
The whole universe depends on everything fitting together just right.
Video was just not acceptable, it wasn't a good enough medium for what that was. We were putting on these incredible sort of production design set pieces, these forays into the natural world, and a video aesthetic just felt a million miles from what that needed to be.
And action.
The camera we shot on was the Arri 416. I knew that Ben liked shallow depth of field and sort of a sort of exploratory focus as much as exploratory movement, so typically the lenses were close to wide open, if not wide open sometimes. We really only shot on a couple of lenses. Most of the movie is on a 25 and a 50, and that just seemed to just capture just enough of the world for you to understand sort of Hush Puppy's perspective and the way she just was sort of always zoning in on the little details, but gave you enough of a wide view that you didn't feel like you were in this permanent close-up environment. In order to get sort of a sense of Hush Puppy's perspective on the world, I did very much enter into her mindset. And it was great that we'd come up with this idea of this interested and reactive camera, that I didn't have to be executing a pre-planned move. If something caught my eye, I could just go with it. And as long as I kept the moves, within the realm of the kinds of work that we'd been discussing and that Ben and I were happy with, the camera could kind of go anywhere, and so I did. I just tried to do that. I tried to just be Hush Puppy's sense, if not literally her eyes. One of the most interesting scenes for me initially when I read the script in the movie was the moment when Hush Puppy comes face to face with the aurochs. It was definitely like a real technical challenge. We knew we weren't going to computer generate the aurochs in any sense, so getting two-dimensional images of the beasts with the correct camera angles to then be able to bring them into that really rough handheld footage at the end, that was just a real fun challenge for me. Shooting Beasts was like a coming together for me of everything I'd ever hoped movie making could be, I have these moments where I just think, like, is that it? Is that like the pinnacle of my life? I mean, I wouldn't be too disappointed if it was, but it's going to be tough to tell a story that's as meaningful as that again.